Have you ever felt that heavy, suffocating weight in your chest? The desperate urge to make someone see your truth? When someone misjudges us, our immediate, almost primitive instinct is to erect a defense. We type out long, frantic paragraphs. We repeat our arguments. We plead for clarity. We trap ourselves in the illusion that if we can just find the perfect arrangement of words, the exact tone of voice, the other person will finally see us. But intelligent people eventually outgrow this exhausting cycle. Look down at the highway below, shrouded in the midnight fog. The cars glide past, each trapped inside its own narrow cone of light, completely blind to what lies outside its beam. Human minds operate exactly the same way. True intelligence begins when you accept a painful psychological reality. People do not hear what you are actually saying. They only decode your words through the distorted filter of their own trauma, their own biases, and their own level of emotional maturity. Explaining your soul to someone who is structurally committed to misunderstanding you is like pouring water into a shattered glass. It is a quiet, bleeding leak of your vital energy, and the smartest people understand the sacred economy of their peace. Why do the wisest mind among us willingly choose to let others be completely wrong about them? Because they have deconstructed the cruel mechanics of psychological projection. When someone misinterprets your boundaries as coldness or your growth as arrogance, they aren't actually looking at you. They are looking at a shadow cast by their own unhealed wounds. In the quiet chambers of psychology, we know that the chronic urge to over-explain is often a fawn response, a lingering shadow of childhood hypervigilance. We explain because we grew up believing that if we didn't manage everyone else's emotions, we wouldn't be safe. We abandon our own truth, begging the world to validate our reality so our nervous system can finally calm down. But true maturity is an act of absolute emotional sovereignty. This moment you stop explaining, you dismantle the courtroom. You step off the witness stand. You realize you do not owe anyone a front row seat to your evolution, nor do you owe them an apology for outgrowing the version of you they preferred. The smartest people don't fight the narrative. They don't send late-night paragraphs trying to fix a broken bridge. They simply let the misconception sit in the air, heavy, cold, and uncorrected. They are perfectly content to be the villain in someone else's poorly written story. because they know their character doesn't require a public defense. There is a profound, almost breathtaking lightness in dropping the burden of proof. The moment you stop explaining yourself, the world undergoes a sudden, quiet shift. The frantic, exhausting noise of trying to master other people's perceptions simply evaporates. You inhale the cool dawn air and realize that your truth doesn't need their applause or their comprehension to be real. The river flowing beside me doesn't argue with the jagged stones in its path. It doesn't write an explanation to the riverbanks about why it must flow toward the sea. It simply moves, fluid, silent, and unstoppable. It finds its power in its own direction, not in their permission. The world will always construct a version of you that fits their comfort zone. Let them. Let them misread your silence as defeat or apathy. Let them believe they won the argument. Your inner peace is a price far too high to pay for their temporary agreement. The dawn is breaking now, cutting through the cold indigo of the night. The heavy mist is beginning to dissolve, leaving the air tasting clean, weightless, and entirely new. The next time you feel that familiar, tight ache in your throat, that desperate urge to defend your character to someone who refuses to see you, stop. Let the words dissolve before they reach your lips. Take a deep, slow breath, smile quietly, and just walk forward. Because at the end of the night, the truth remains. Those who truly see you do not need an explanation, and those who refuse to see you will never believe it anyway.